This is a comic on Batman, this is a comic on X-Men, and this is a comic on Superman. And I'll be reading all these comics to see if it's possible to make good movies out of comics without finding a bad one. Starting with level 1, Batman. Starts on one of the most well-known tales of them all, the Graysons. Which, if you haven't had your eyes or ear checked, basically the horrible, gut-wrenching story of Robin, better known as Dick. And that's just scratching the surface. Bribed each one of these puppets to read one of the comics. It also gives me a reason to enjoy some childlike fun before I head off to uni. Personally, comics are better than books because they bring you into a world of your own and really helps you visualize. What I love about this comic so far is when it actually has a proper story beside from, you know, Bruce Wayne, Batman being his dad. Bro kinda looks like Mark Grayson from Invincible. Don't want Gremlins. Flickabay. The comic starts with Dick, better known as Robin, having a night terror. What I most like about this type of Bruce is he has a sector of emotional intelligence in this adaptation. He actually cares for his only, not biological, but it just shows you don't have to be biological to actually care for someone. It just shows Batman at night, but a good, caring human being when time hits most. Bruce also knows what it's like to be alone, because remember the incident that happened with his family. Then it continues with Dick Grayson not liking vegetables, which is completely valid. Going back a step and going on to the other page. This can be compared to the Lego Batman movie when all Batman wanted was to be alone. Because Bruce Wayne knows all of the mistakes he's made in his career, and you wouldn't want to put that against a child. Especially with the responsibility of being Batman. At the age Dick is, you just don't realize they're trying to protect you, even though you want to live your life and be a cool teenager fighting. There's a lot of backstabbing from the past to the present, which is a really nice detail. It just represents how he's grown as a person. No one goes about being sensitized by something before being desensitized first. For example, horror films used to scare the absolute gibbers out of me, but now handle it like a man. Wow, this Bruce Wayne is actually genuine. He's around a lot more. There's nothing wrong with a father looking out for their son. Even when you want to see Grayson fighting all these awesome vigilantes and all, you know it's not the best in his best interest at the moment. But even if you want to save the world, it didn't work out because there's too much responsibility in being a superhero. No, it was just them spending time together. He was committed to the one person who made him feel safe. Loved. My dad made me feel like a stranger for even being here. I had to scope my own plan in life. I was gonna do big things. My dad was an alcoholic, but luckily the wizard took me in. Made me feel like I could do whatever with no freedom. Until I met Jim Jam, who I'd say changed his life. Agree to disagree on that one. Ziggy was reading Superman, a superhero known for his super strength and compassion towards saving strangers. This comic took me by storm. This was the point similar to Smallville where Superman was good friends with Lex Luthor. Lani Lang, Superman's lover. A 2000s show, one of the first TV programs about Superman. The interview segment reminds me of Superman 2025. The new one, of course, where they have an honest interview, but this video isn't about that. Can't even express how much I love this batsuit. It actually reminds me of an altered Adam West batsuit. I like how this Batman doesn't show a six-pack abs, Sigma male. It actually shows a genuine person just trying to do good for the world. That he's here to protect everyone at any cost. Then it's Superman trying to train with Dr. Oman, which will be his teacher. Him showcasing his position in this world, his saviors, but them just treating him as a normal person. A good example of fame doesn't always change you. The main things that come with it are paparazzi, and you don't want them lurking around. And for Batman to showcase and say he's earned his place as the vigilante he is, he has to find this hologram of a place that looks like it was created by Green Lantern. The amount of media that blindfolded combat has been referenced in is crazy. I still remember it from Batman Begins. Now I'm going to be looking at the X-Men comic that I'm yet to read. That is about Professor Xavier, that is top of the group, part of the club, a group of people, some weird and mutated, and some with strange abilities abilities, teach them how to use them. Hence in Deadpool 2, when they taught him how to be an X-Men. And Magneto, the main villain in crime. Okay, how this is gonna work is I'm gonna give all the comics, flip them round to each puppet. So I'm basically gonna do a swapsy with all of the puppets. So basically Gus gets the X-Men comic, well, except from the X-Men one, because my friend's gonna be voicing over the X-Men one after this. So let's get to it. Both Ziggy and Jim Jam, I gave Ziggy the Batman comic and Jim Jam the Superman comic to both read and see their reactions. So coming in at the top, according to them both collectively getting results, is the Batman Shadows of the Past. Definitely recommend that comic. Great, has so much emotion. Even though it's very short and condensed, I feel like it actually shows something you never see in the films, etc. You never see in the films, them actually being compassionate and emotionally available to each other's needs when available. You know, you sometimes see Robin trying to be family like in the Lego Batman movie to Bruce Wayne / Batman. Sorry, I gave away his secret identity. But you never quite see Bruce being that compassionate on camera, at least, to Dick Grayson. Children can be cruel. Except from the ads and all, I give this comic a 7 out of 10. The ads was just a big off block. If it was just a short comic, condensed, because if they took all of the ads out and put less ads, just ads at the end, it would be perfect. Lex isn't evil in this. That takes a bit away from what Lex's nature is, but I guess it takes a while for people to finally come out of the shell and become evil, or it's just, you know, like a sudden thing straight away. Anyway, I give the Batman the top. All of the characters were great. I just felt like it took a bit long to get to the point of what they were trying to get at, was basically Superman training. It was only like the last half where he was actually training. It took a bit to get into it, but that's my only really fault. It was all comics. I love comics, so I can't really complain. But yeah, the Batman one is totally on top. Thomas Sponge Conductor 222, take it away. Take the showroom.
So you sent me this comic to read, and I did, and I must say, I quite enjoyed it. I definitely like the varied amount of X-Men that this adaptation of the X-Men has, and I also like the sense of impending apocalypse that this all presents, and I also think the TV format that our villains have for our heroes is also very creative. I definitely think this is quite a unique comic to read, and I would definitely like to see more issues of this in the future. Suppose you send me any.
First adaptation I found was done by the new Superman, which is not a legit representation of an adaptation, but it was the closest I could find. It is made in 1998. Here's a quick flash of the commercial.
Hits together on one TV set. You'll get left to the jaw, right to the Joker. Sucker punch the guy behind you. Plus, if you watch every day, you'll get Metropolis Mayhem, including Lois Falls yet again. And Kryptonic to Always Zone. Gotham's greatest hits, Metropolis Mayhem, yours together on one TV set.
It's great, just in the way it's so much more action than this training montage. I felt like it took a little too much, but at the same time, it depends what you prefer. Do you prefer a comic example, or do you prefer a TV show? It was Batman and Superman Adventures. Wow, I wish I had this as a kid, because this is one hell of a show. I like it's similar people from the Batman animated series working on it. However, but for this show, it was both of their Metropolis world and the Gotham world rotating from one another, like between episodes, opposed to seeing them both on the big screen, so they could capitalize on both of their successes. Justice League probably would have been a better example, but oh well. As a whole, I prefer the new Superman because it shows the highs and the pitfalls of becoming a new Superman. He hasn't been doing it for long. He's like a new rendition of the original character that is just getting into the swing of things and finding his ropes, and it can be really difficult, and it's showing how he feels the whole emotional roundabout. As opposed to splitting it up into two gaps. I know it's different shows, but in terms of this, I feel like the comic is a clear win for me. I couldn't find anything on Batman Shadows of the Past. The only thing that comes remotely close, which isn't even semi-related to this comic at all, is Lego Batman, because the relationship with Robin is something beautiful. The X-Men Blue, the last and final comic of this video, I'm just gonna come out here damn right and say it is. X-Men movies semi-relate to it because it still has X-Men in, and there hasn't been much X-Men media in the last 10 years, my friend told me, so you know, I can't really do much about that. But the X-Men movies, I don't know, they just stay golden in my heart. Especially Miss Marsden was in it in the FNAF movie when he was young and all. But besides from that, the main relationship between the X-Men was more like family, moreover than just being action the entire time, just like in this comic. So yeah, I think it's fair to prefer the movie. Anyway, I'm sure other X-Men movies are better, X-Men comics are better, but thank you so much for watching this video.